Now, it honestly feels like at this point, every other time I'm talking about Power Rangers on this channel, it's about something being cancelled, or what's next for Power Rangers, or Power Rangers is doomed. It's obviously not the case, but the franchise is starting to get a little bit frustrating, to say the least. So, in today's video, I kind of want to just share some news I come across in an article. There's no editing in this, I'm just going to share my thoughts, kind of live, but not actually live. And I think this is maybe the news we've been waiting for, maybe not. Let's just get into it and have a look. Share your opinions, let us know what you think. Now, before we get any further, let me take a minute to talk about something very important. While I consider myself to be a fairly confident person, I have struggled with feeling anxious towards certain situations in life. It's not something I really talk about publicly, but I have used therapy before to help me get through these difficult periods. I used BetterHelp, who this video is in paid partnership with, and I found it incredibly helpful to be able to talk openly and honestly with someone outside of my regular life. The therapist had no prior knowledge of myself, which helped me to get an objective outside perspective. I personally found it much easier and more confident opening up to a detached third party rather than someone I'm close to. Of course, all friends and family mean well, but when you hear things like, just get over it or just move on, these things really don't help. And the therapist truly listened without judgment and taught me how new coping mechanisms can be tailored specifically to my situation. Over time, and with the support of the therapist, I made real progress addressing the issues that were causing me to have anxiety. If you feel like you could benefit from speaking to a professional therapist outside of your regular social circle, I highly recommend checking out BetterHelp. It's super easy to get started, just fill out a questionnaire about your needs, and BetterHelp matches you with a therapist trained to support you in your specific situation. I'm so grateful I made the decision to try BetterHelp when I was struggling. I genuinely think it changed my life. If you think talking through your challenges with an outside professional could help you too, visit betterhelp.com/the6th Ranger or select the 6th Ranger during sign up to get started and receive a special discount off your first month of therapy. So basically, to cut a long story short, comicbook.com, which is a website I've seen a few articles on before, not really, one that I follow religiously, but it says Hasbro teases exciting plans for Power Rangers. The article starts off by explaining that things have been cancelled, there's been a lack of announcements. There was originally going to be the Netflix live-action cinematic universe, which would include movies and TV shows with characters and storylines that interconnect, run by Jonathan Entwistle and I believe it says here Jenny Klein. They were the showrunners, but unfortunately, Netflix and Hasbro reported that would no longer be going ahead and they would be exploring a new creative direction, as well as looking for a new partner as a result of this change. Now, this was worrying news. Netflix is obviously a huge company that takes on huge franchises and huge brands and develops their own stories within them, so it's not like they're exactly intimidated by Power Rangers. Something has obviously put them off this. It's a huge brand, it's a huge franchise with a lot of money to potentially be made. I don't know if they'd get a cut of any of the merchandise sales, but it just seems odd to not go ahead with such a large project. As for who the new partner is going to be in making this new stuff, the article doesn't say. What it does say is, and let's read, it basically all comes from a tweet where Hasbro president Olivier Dumont didn't go into much specifics, but did say that they have exciting plans for quite a few brands, including Power Rangers. Exciting plans for quite a few brands. It just almost feels like it's an afterthought, like, oh yeah, let's do something with Power Rangers as well. It needs a team of people that are solely concentrating on the future of this franchise. And it's not just about the TV show, it's about everything. I feel like everything should connect. While I love the original Boom Studios comic books, it would have made so much more sense to me if they were spin-offs of the show. If everything interconnects, the video games, the comic books, the movies, and the live-action TV show. Even if we get any animated stuff, all of this could interconnect and give us an entire cinematic universe. Like, it's kind of getting a bit old now, everyone wants to do it, but like Marvel, it feels like everything relates. Even Star Wars, while it's not my favorite franchise anymore, they did some things well by bringing Marvel into the comic books and having those stories part of the actual canon. It made fans want to read the comics because what happens in those actually matters. And I feel like Power Rangers should do the exact same. I don't know about you guys. That's just my opinion. It then goes on to talk about the current state of the brand and says that while the TV and movie sides of the franchise are in flux, there are other things happening with the franchise in the interim. The gaming front is actually where Power Rangers is most visible at the moment, I suppose, as a new Rita's Rewind video game was recently announced for consoles, and the mobile hit Legacy Wars continues to add new content. I'm not sure if Rita's Rewind and a mobile game really count enough for, I don't know, any kind of exciting addition to this universe. It could just be me being an old grumpy man now, but let me know what you think. So Renegade Game Studios continues to release new content as well for the Power Rangers deck building game and Heroes of the Grid, and they've also introduced a variety of new content into their Power Rangers role-playing game. Now, I'm a huge fan of TCGs, of tabletop games. I actually have another YouTube channel, the Tabletop Alliance. You can go and check that out. So knowing that these things are going on, it pleases me, genuinely. And it's actually something I'd love to do on this channel, is play a Power Rangers role-playing game, or even the deck building game. Problem is, none of my friends are really into Power Rangers, so who would I play with? Any UK fans out there, hit me up if you want to play a game on the channel. There's also then the toys and collectibles side of the franchise, which is going quite strong, despite the fact that Hasbro's Lightning Collection line was cancelled out of the blue. Something which I'm still a bit hurt on, because the majority of teams and lines and stuff were never able to be completed. A prime example of that being the helmets. They were my favourite part of the Lightning Collection line, but what did we get? Blue, red, white, pink, Draken, Lord Zed. Was that it? Did we ever get... We never got green. Did we get black? We might have got black. I'm struggling to remember now, but not finishing something like that is a huge shame for collectors. All I wanted was the full 6 Mighty Morphin helmets on my shelf. 7 if you go green and white. Such a shame. Anyway, other companies are still creating new statues and collectibles for the franchise, and there will be a new toy line next year from Playmates as well. This is kind of good news and something I'm quite excited for. Playmates are a decent company. They've done some stuff with Star Trek, which I'm also a big fan of. They've been okay. Nothing amazing, but as long as they're consistent and they're actually putting things out, I'll be happy. I don't know if they'll be as good as Hasbro. Hasbro had some strong releases and some very weak releases. They definitely will not be as good as Bandai. When Bandai had the rights, they were putting out some good stuff. Like the Bandai Morphers and things like that was so good. So much better than anything Hasbro put out. So there's some hope, but not a lot of it. That's pretty much it. I kind of just wanted to cover the news here. It's not the biggest news, but it's something. You know, it's something for us to hold on to know that there's something exciting coming. We've had this sort of news for a while now, and nothing's really come of it, apart from cancellations. So I guess we'll just see. How do you guys feel about this? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, I feel like I do owe you a slight explanation for the lack of content on the 6th Ranger over maybe the last 12 months. If you don't know, there's been a ton of stuff going on in my life, both personally and professionally. I've had a child, I've opened a high street retail store, and I've recently moved office and studio, which is why I'm filming this just against a plain white wall, because nothing is quite finished, so it's difficult to be getting all the content out that I need to be, while still doing content for the Tabletop Alliance, the Broken Sword, and a couple of other things too. Also running a gym and a shop at the same time takes up a lot of time, so I do apologize. This channel's not going anywhere. I absolutely love this community. I love the franchise. I love talking about it. It's just sometimes it's difficult to fit in. I can guarantee you a video a month. That's the best I can do right now. I'm trying my best to squeeze it in. Hopefully you guys can stay with me, stick with me, and keep supporting the channel, because the support over the years has been amazing, so can't thank you all enough. Anyway, that's it for me today, my friends. Sorry for the kind of jaggedy, janky video. It's a bit rough around the edges, but I'm doing the best with what I've got right now. Have a great day, guys. May the power protect you, and I'll see you next time on the 6th Ranger.